my not having prosecuted in that office is a strength that I'm bringing into the agency. It's time to breathe in some fresh air, no doubt, into the building. And I think it's coming at a critical moment in time. So, along with my defense work, I have been an administrator for attorneys in the last 2 years, and I've also been doing quite a bit of victim advocacy work. So, I'm bringing a broad depth of skill set to the agency and more than anything else, a passion for criminal justice reform.
From your first day in your new role, is there something that you'd like to implement that's been long overdue?
Absolutely. At the fundamental core of it, it's the end to the war on drugs. We have long known that we cannot arrest and prosecute our way out of drug addiction and mental illness. And so now, again, is a critical moment in time to move to treatment, to respond with medical and behavioral health to a medical crisis in our community. And when we choose treatment instead of jail at a third of the cost, we reframe that $40 million budget, and we have the resources in play to go after those who are actually harming our community.
How do you see yourself prosecuting drug crimes, given that they could be small amounts to large amounts? What would be your take on it?
We are going to be focusing primarily on deflection. We are going to make sure that we're moving people into treatment instead of into the criminal justice system. In other words, if the problem is personal possession because the problem is a drug addiction, the answer is a medical answer and it's treatment. Unfortunately, because we are 40 years into the war on drugs here in Pima County, we're going to have people in their fourth and fifth time coming back to the system. And that's where we need to intervene, and we need to have a court program, a drug program where we can bring people into the system and intervene with them and provide a systemic supervision over that. What I want to stop doing, Lorraine, is I want to stop bringing people into the system unnecessarily and burdening them with go to treatment and overcome your drug addiction, but also come to all these hearings and pay a lot of fines and go to court. And that's disruptive to your job and to your family. That's too burdensome. And the data is showing us that that's not a successful outcome for so many people. It's enough to get over drug addiction. It's enough to focus on treatment.
What do you say to the victims of drug crimes who don't necessarily subscribe to your approach that deflection, diversion are maybe too easy of a punishment?
Well, what I would say is that the primary victims of drug crimes are those people suffering from the addiction and their immediate families. And the cry for help there is treatment. When we talk about victimization, we're talking, I think, more about property crime. And I think when we spend all of our resources, when we take a third of that $40 million budget and we go after simple drug possession, as this office has been doing, we actually lose sight of property crime and property victims. So we know that again, when we move addiction into treatment, we can actually provide resources and services and go after property crime at its root and really go after it and target it.
Earlier, you used the term criminal justice reform, which has really taken on a life of its own, it seems, in these last 6 to 8 months. What does it mean to you here in Pima County, given that you're about to become the next Pima County attorney?
What I love about criminal justice reform, and I've spent my entire life, my entire professional life at least, studying, is that it's so data driven. We track data, we transparently share the data, and then we get to ask ourselves as a community and as a system, are we meeting our benchmarks? Are we creating the goals that we seek to create? Are the programs actually achieving our priorities? And if not, we have the humility and the courage to make changes or scrap things altogether. but it's all data driven. And this is a perfect moment in time to start tracking and sharing data transparently so that we can really make an impact right as our community needs it so desperately during this pandemic. And when we need to be lessening that footprint on the county general fund, 60% of the county general fund goes to law and order. It's a great moment in time to try to lessen that footprint when we really want the county focusing on small business recovery.